You've been lied to about discipline. It's not about waking up at 5 a.m., grinding until you collapse, or forcing yourself to suffer. Most people think discipline is a punishment, something painful, something miserable. But what if I told you, you've got it all backwards? What if the real secret to discipline isn't about control, but about freedom? Stick around, because this one word could change everything. Discipline. We hear it all the time. Be more disciplined. Discipline equals freedom. You lack discipline. But here's the problem. Nobody explains what it means. So today, we're breaking it down. Not just the dictionary definition, but the psychology, the myths, and the real-life hacks to make discipline effortless. Because if you're relying on willpower alone, you're already losing. Let's be honest. When you hear discipline, what comes to mind? Probably some military drill sergeant screaming at you to do push-ups. Or maybe that one friend who brags about their perfect routines while you're struggling to get out of bed. Society paints discipline as this brutal, joyless grind. And that's why most people hate it. But here's the truth. Discipline isn't about suffering. It's not about forcing yourself to do things you despise. The real definition. Discipline is training yourself to act in a way you know is right, even when you don't feel like it. Notice the word training, not torturing. Yet, here's where things go wrong. We set insane goals. I'll work out every day, eat only salads, and never procrastinate again. Then, when we fail because we're human, we call ourselves lazy. But what if the problem isn't you? What if the problem is how you've been taught to think about discipline? Why discipline feels like a punishment? Consider the last time you tried to be disciplined. Maybe you swore you'd finally start that diet, hit the gym, or stop procrastinating. How did it go? If you're like most people, it probably felt like dragging yourself through mud. And that's the first big misconception. Discipline isn't supposed to feel like torture. But here's why it does. We've been conditioned to see discipline as this all-or-nothing battle. Social media glorifies extreme routines. Wake up at 4 a.m., cold showers, no sugar, no fun. And when we can't keep up, we feel like failures. But guess what? Those perfect routines, most of them are fake. Nobody sustains that level of intensity forever. Myth 1. Discipline equals willpower. Here's the brutal truth. Willpower is a scam, at least the way we think about it is. Studies from Stanford show that willpower is a finite resource. It drains like a battery. Ever notice how you can resist junk food all day, then cave at midnight? That's not you being weak. That's biology. Most people think discipline is about willpower, white-knuckling your way through tasks. But science says willpower is like a battery. Ever notice how you're good all day, then binge Netflix at night? That's not laziness. That's willpower exhaustion. The fix: stop relying on motivation. Instead, build systems. For example, if you want to read more, stop saying, "I'll read 50 pages daily." Just leave a book on your pillow. Now, not reading feels weird. That's discipline. Making the right choice, the easy choice. And yet we keep setting ourselves up for failure. We say things like, "I'll study for 8 hours straight. I'll never eat sugar again. I'll work out every single day." Then, when we inevitably slip up, we call ourselves lazy. But here's the reality. Discipline isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. Let's dig deeper into why willpower fails us. Imagine you're holding a 5-pound weight. Easy, right? Now keep holding it for an hour. Suddenly, it feels heavy. That's willpower. The longer you rely on it, the weaker it gets. So, How do we fix this? We stop relying on willpower altogether. Instead, we use something called environmental design. Here's how it works. Example 1. The cookie jar problem. A Google study found that employees ate fewer candies when the candy jars were placed just 6 feet away from their desks. This was not because they had more discipline, but because the barrier made them pause. Your move. Don't keep junk food in the house if you're trying to eat healthier. Make the bad choices harder to access. Example 2. The phone trap research shows that the average person checks their phone 58 times a day. But here's the kicker. Most of those checks are unconscious. You don't decide to scroll. Your brain autopilots to it. Your move. Put your phone in another room when working. Out of sight, out of mind. Myth 2. Discipline means no fun. Another lie. Discipline isn't about cutting out joy, but prioritizing long-term happiness over short-term pleasure. Think about it. The person who saves money isn't missing out. They're buying future freedom. The athlete who trains isn't suffering. They're investing in strength. Real discipline isn't restrictive. It's liberating. It's the difference between scrolling TikTok for hours, then feeling guilty, then finishing your project, and feeling proud. One feels good in the moment. The other feels good forever. Discipline isn't about saying no to enjoyment. It's about saying yes to what truly matters. Let's compare two people. Person A skips parties to study, hates every minute, and burns out in a month. Person B studies in focused bursts, rewards themselves after, and retains information. Who's more disciplined? Person B, because they've figured out the golden rule. Discipline works when it's sustainable. The 1% rule. Here's the secret. Discipline isn't about massive overhauls. It's about tiny, sustainable changes. Want to get fit? Start with 1 push-up a day. Sounds ridiculous, right? But here's what happens. You prove to yourself that you can do it. Then 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 5, and suddenly you're the person who works out without thinking about it. That's how discipline sticks. James Clear, author of Atomic Habits, calls this the aggregation of marginal gains. Tiny improvements compound over time. Here's how to apply it. Fitness. Start with 1 push-up a day. Yes, 1. After a week, make it 2. In a year, you'll do 50 without thinking. Writing. Write 1 sentence a day. Most days you'll write more. But on the hard days, that 1 sentence keeps the habit alive. Saving money. Start by saving $1 a day. It will seem meaningless until you have $365 extra by year's end. The role of identity. So here's the big reveal. Discipline isn't something you have, it's something you build. It's not a personality trait, it's a skill, and like any skill, you get better with practice. Think of it like this. Every time you choose the slightly harder option, water instead of soda, a 10-minute walk instead of a couch slump, you're not just making a choice, you're rewiring your brain. Over time, those tiny choices add up, and one day, you wake up and realize that discipline isn't a struggle, it's just who you are. Here's the mind-blowing part. Discipline isn't just about actions, it's about identity. If you see yourself as a lazy person, you'll act like one. If you see yourself as someone who works out, skipping the gym feels wrong. How to shift your identity. 1. Start slowly. I'm a runner, jog for 2 minutes. 2. Celebrate tiny wins. I wrote today. I'm a writer's. 3. Repeat until it sticks. The breakthrough moment comes when you realize discipline isn't something you force, it's something you become. Think of it like brushing your teeth. You don't debate it every morning, you just do it. That's the power of habit. And that's the real meaning of discipline, making the right choice feel automatic. Let's recap. 1. Discipline isn't about punishment, it's about freedom. 2. Discipline equals training, not torture. 3. Willpower fails. Design your environment, build systems instead. Small, consistent actions beat massive, unsustainable efforts. Tiny habits are greater than extreme challenges. 5. Identity shapes behavior. Discipline isn't the enemy. The enemy is the myth of discipline, the idea that it has to be hard, miserable, or extreme. Real discipline, it's quiet, it's steady, and most importantly, it's yours to build. If this video has made you see the word discipline in a new way, then hit the subscribe button, share this video, and comment on how this one word has affected you, because next time we're diving into another word that can change your life, and you won't want to miss it.